everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2008 movie Iron Man. So, this movie is directed by Jon Favreau, and in this movie, Tony Stark is held captive by a terrorist group known as the Ten Rings, and he escapes captivity after building an Iron Man suit, and he barely escapes. Once he gets home, he decides to start making major changes to Stark Industries and stuff, and it upsets one of his father's oldest friends, Obadiah Stane, who helped found the company, and the two of them have to go head to head when Obadiah Stane builds his own suit technology to go up against Tony as the Ironmonger. This is a really, really good movie. I've always have loved the first Iron Man movie. When it first came out, I remember when it first came out in theaters. In fact, the day that it came out, I had the choice of going to see that one or the new Chronicles of Narnia movie at the time, and dummy me picked Narnia. I wish I would have chose Iron Man now, but back then I was more into Narnia, and I didn't. The MCU was just now starting because this was the very first one, so and everything. So I liked Marvel movies, but I didn't always go to see them in the theaters like I do now, and everything. A lot of them I would wait for DVD on and stuff because I just wasn't into the stuff yet, except for like Spider-Man and X-Men. Those were really the only ones that I really watched or went to see in the theaters. But I really enjoyed this one quite a bit. I thought the story was really good. The acting is excellent, especially from Robert Downey Jr., who isn't just perfectly cast as Iron Man. He is Iron Man. Nobody else is ever going to be able to play Iron Man and be able to top Robert Downey Jr., I don't think. He's just absolutely perfect in the role. And Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts is really good too. She doesn't have a lot to do in this one because she's not in it as much, but she's still really likable, and the chemistry between the two of them works really well and everything. And that's one of the things I love about this movie, is their chemistry. And it's crazy going back and looking at this movie and seeing how much things have changed in the MCU since this one came out. Like, this one blended the action really well, but the in-between stuff was really interesting and engaging throughout the entire movie. And I forgot how well paced this movie is too. Like, it's just a little bit over 2 hours, and it flies by fast every time I watch it. And that's one of the things I love about it too. When a movie can entertain me so much that I don't want it to end, that's how you know a movie is entertaining to you. And this is one of those that I feel that way, which I feel that way with a lot of MCU movies. I'm not ready for it to end. Can't wait to see. I'm always looking forward to what's next, even the newer ones. But I haven't been feeling that as much with the newer ones as I did back then. I think it's safe to say that these early MCUs might be the best ones we were going to have, like the Infinity Saga. I don't know yet, we'll see. But this movie was a really awesome way to kick off the MCU, and it still holds up really, really well. It has really great practical effects on Iron Man's suit, and stuff looks really awesome. And Jon Favreau did a really great job directing this one. I think he did a good job setting up this world and introducing these characters, and to me it just worked really well. I love that about it and everything. And I love how the MCU just later expands from this movie to a whole universe. It's just crazy. But this is the one that started it all as far as the MCU goes, and it's awesome, and I have a lot of respect for it because of that. Because if this movie would have sucked, we wouldn't have the MCU as we know it. And some people kind of wish it would have gone the other way, but I'm not one of them. I'm happy with what we've gotten so far, and I think this movie is really entertaining and enjoyable. So I'd say I'd give Iron Man a 9.5 out of 10. It's very, very entertaining and a ton of fun to watch. I'm never bored with it. I love this story. I love how, like, even when it's slower, the pacing isn't bad. and everything, because you love spending time with these characters so much and everything. I love that, and I love Tony's character arc and everything, in which he goes through a big one just within the first 30-40 minutes of the movie, and seeing how much he changed after being held captive and stuff and everything. I love how like he's just changed his opinions on his life and everything, and I thought that was awesome. So all in all, I think Iron Man is definitely one of the best MCU movies. It's still in my top 10 favorite MCU movies, and I still really love it. So it's easily an excellent movie, so I definitely would recommend it if you haven't seen it. If you want to get into the MCU, this is definitely the one I'd recommend starting with, because I just recommend watching them in the order they came out in, because the timeline thing is confusing to understand for me. So I just recommend watching this one first anyway. Plus it's the one where it all began anyway, so it's worth seeing for that alone. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Iron Man, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.